I will begin when we have 30 individuals. Oh, all right. If you would like to start recording, that is fine. All right. Welcome to Let's Build a Website, Build Along 101. You may call me the Chief, or just Chief. I am from a future timeline of this Earth in which I was a coder and mechanic for personal mecha. I can't say that I am qualified in today's coding, but I do understand coding very well once I understand what it is trying to reference. So, I am not the best teacher, but I certainly hope that you will learn something from this. I do want to give the disclaimer that this is not meant to be a all-inclusive how to build a website. This is going to be a 101, the bare bone basics of how to build a website, how to get one running, and how to display one, connect pages, put your information on it, so that it gives folks the jumping off point to then make their own website their own. It has been a personal goal of our system to get as much information out there to people, and um there has been want for making websites, but it is quite apologies, I keep losing my words. It isn't as straightforward as people would hope that it would be. So I'm here hoping to give you some clarification on how things are. So, if you could please. Before that, I strongly advise if you wish to follow along with what I am going to be showing you, that you will be on a laptop, a desktop, or a tablet that has a keyboard. You will not be able to do this if you are on a phone. I would not suggest that whatsoever. It is just not going to work. This will also be recorded so that you may go back and watch for and follow along later if you are unable to watching on their fridge. If you are unable to follow on one of those devices or are not able to stay for the whole thing. To get into it, I am going to be sending a message in the panel stage chat, and I would like you to open both links that are in the message that I send. Today I am going to be focusing on using Neocities, as that is what I have experience with. But I am aware that you can use other site builders, such as Weebly, or I think Wix is still around. I wouldn't quote me on that, though. So, we are going to, as you can see on my screen, I have Neocities open. So I am going to give those who are working along with me a couple of minutes to sign up. So your username is going to be your site name. So for example, if I go to the sign-in screen, you can see we have the River System, which is our usual website. And we have my demonstration blog, so I can show you exactly from the very beginning how this is going to go. I will give you a couple of minutes, especially as there is going to be a web email that you need to go through and um, confirm that you are uh, to confirm your website. If anybody would be kind enough to let me know when they have their website confirmed, just so I know when about to expect people to be able to follow along and continue. All right, I will sign in. And if you haven't, please sign in. I should also mention that the website tags is optional. You do not need to use them. Neocities accounts are free. You can pay for some upgraded features, but our normal website is on the free account. Well, I'm going to continue. If you are not at this point, hopefully you will be able to catch up as quickly as possible. This is the front site. This is what you are going to see when you first log into your Neocities. This will change based on the activity that you make. So here is the dashboard for our normal one. You will see your updates, the sites that you follow, the sites that follow you, any tags you have put on your website, and it'll tell you when you have updated, what kind of updates you have done. What we are going to do today is we are going to hit Edit Site up in this red button right up here in the corner. Now, Neocities does have a very good HTML tutorial. I very much suggest checking it out outside of here because it may give you information I'm not going to. But for the very, very beginner, to tell you what you are looking at, this index.html right here is going to be your very front page. This is what people will see when they come to your blog at first. This neocities.png is quite literally a picture of hosted by Neocities. It is used, I believe, if I open this, it is used right here. You do not need to keep it, but you can if you would like. Especially if you are going to buy a domain name and change your domain name away from Neocities, it helps people know who you're hosting from. The not found HTML is when somebody tries to go to a part of your website that doesn't exist. They will see this page. Ours is currently blank because I have not made it yet. I also want to bring your attention to the style.css. We are going to be using this later. This is very important. But for now, we are going to be focusing on the index.html. So what I would like you to do is I would like you to go all the way over to the right. If you do not see it in this format, which you might not, there is this toggle right here between this form and this form. I highly suggest using the list view. I like it much better. It gives you much more information than this one does. So, my apologies, I forgot I had changed that. So, if you want to go all the way over to the side and hit Edit, you will see this screen. Just checking my notes. This is the coding dashboard. This is where you are going to input all of the code that you are going to use to make your website look like something. Right now, it has a pretty nice little amount of stuff, but we are going to change that a little bit. First, before we do that, though, I would like to turn your attention to the theme selector up in the top middle. and choose and just scroll through them for a couple of minutes and find one that you like and is easy on your eyes. There are different ways that these can look, and it's very important that you find one that is both easy on your eyes and also easy to understand what the different parts of the code is. As you see here on this one right here, it's a black background with blue text for the actual code itself, and anything that is not in code is going to be silver. Specific types of references are in green. This is a good theme if this is one that is easy on your eyes. For us, it is difficult on our eyes, so I'm actually going to choose, I believe it's this one. Oh, that's not it. Oh, which one do we have on our website? Solarized light. This one is not good for the new individual to coding, because as you can see, the colors do not stand out well. But as I am a professional, let me see if I can find one that is easier for you all to see, but also easy on my eyes. Oh, that's not it. Oh, geez. I definitely need a light-colored one. You know, this one will work. This one works. No, actually, it does not. Perfect. This one's perfect. So while we are looking at this page, and while you are all looking at different themes, I'm going to introduce different parts of the website, the actual code itself. And I'm going to put in a couple of spaces to help bring this out easier for everybody to see. If my mouse would behave. Every document is going to start with HTML, unless you're on a CSS, and that is not what we're talking about right now. This tells the web page that you are about to define code that it should pay attention to. The next part of the code is this header. It is abbreviated as head, and it is where you put necessary information that is going to dictate how the page looks. It also is where you put information that dictates communication toward other web pages throughout the internet. The meta charset is you can leave it alone. You should have this here. I would advise leaving this in here because this allows a lot of code to run properly. It is way too much for me to get into what it does, but you can look it up later if you would like. Metaname viewport. Metaname, I believe, is this. No, title is. So if I were going to go to view, you can see up on the very top of on my taskbar here, it says the website of me. This is where you change the title. Every individual page will have its own title. If you leave it alone, it will say the same thing. If you change it, it will say something different from each page. So what is this little code here? This caret exclamation dash dash. This is what allows you to comment on coding. This is where coders will give you information about what the code does. Basically, it tells the code not to run anything. It is then ended with dash dash caret. Anything that is in here will be ignored by the web page. It is simply there for reference. Link, href style, rel style sheet, type CSS. This is a very important piece of information to leave in here because this is going to direct to that style.css that we will be using later. That is very important to make your page look like you want it to. And then we are going to move down to the body. This is where the meat and potatoes of the web page is. This is where you define what the page is going to say or images it is going to display. If you were present for Nova's wonderful accessibility panel, you might recognize the H1 here. This is the header. It makes your text larger and tells the screen reader to read this first. Thank you for letting me know that in that panel. This P is a paragraph. This is what breaks up your text into two enters, like if you would push enter on your keyboard. This is how you do a link. A href equals colon, then your link, end the caret. And this part right here is what the website displays as the text that describes the link. So for this link here, what you will see on here is how you make a link. The text here is what then links back to another page. End A ends the command to make a link. Here is where Nova got the question about using italicize and bold in a web page. This is very important for screen readers, as you can make things strong to make them bold, or to emphasize for italicize. You do not want to use B for bold or I for italic as in the past, because the code references them differently these days. I cannot for the life of me remember exactly what the difference is. I know I've looked into it, and you can look into it yourself later, but it is very important to use these new codes if you have any previous experience in HTML, like Vosky used to code on Neopets when these codes didn't exist, and tried to use B and I had to slap them on the wrist. Here is how you add an image. Image src, and then this is actually not a great example because this slash and then a extension refers back to your own website. So if you want to put something from outside of the website, let me quick get a link, image link for you to demonstrate on. Can I have the code, please? Oh, why are you doing the haha? There it is. So you will replace everything within the quotation marks with the link to your image, and then you will press save. Now if I reload this, you will see this fantastic image of Dosky as a dino back in the day. This is a list. You might not have to use these, and these will be on information later. So, now that I have given you the basics, let me double check that I haven't made a note for myself. I haven't. All right. We are able to move on to the other website that I linked for you, the Layout Builder. I apologize for how bright and in your face this layout is. The old version of this doesn't have as many features, but is a little easier on the eyes, but we are going to use the new one just because this one has a better code. So if we go at the very top here, we can see and play with how this layout is going to look. So as you see right here, this is very similar to what ours looks like, but you can also only have the left sidebar, the right sidebar, no sidebars at all. You can have no header. You can have no footer, which actually, did it have one before I did that? Oh, yes, it did. It's this purple line here. And a nav bar, which is these links right here. You can also open this up for extra options, which is a top bar above the header. I don't believe we can see. Oh, there it is. And add extra space between the elements, which I believe ours has because it looks nicer in our opinion. I am going to leave this all of the options on so that you can, if no matter your choices and how you want to create this, you can follow along with my code. Go ahead for a couple of minutes and figure out what type of layout you would like. And in a couple of minutes, I will continue. As we move on, we are going to hit this button that says Generate Layout. If you can make this bigger, it is a nice idea, but all you have to do is click inside, press Control A and Control C. And then what we are going to do is we are going to come back over to our dashboard. We're going to Control A and Control V. And we are going to replace absolutely everything that is in it. Perhaps not. Did I miss something? Oh, no, perhaps. All right. Back up. Back up. Is this what I want? This has changed. Has it? One moment. As I realize what the hell I am trying to tell you. Because I might have done this incorrectly myself. It has been like 4 years since we made our website, so I have actually not used this layout builder. I should have done this better. My bad. Yes, I do not recognize this layout. This is the one that I am used to. Yes, this is the one that I am used to. I am so sorry, y'all. If you don't have technical difficulties, are you truly working with code? It's true. Is that this code should be copied and pasted into the is that? Oh, that is exactly what that says, doesn't it? Sometimes coders are stuck up little assholes who don't realize that they're not following directions, myself included. Yes, that is correct. So what we'll do is we will get rid of everything within these body tags where the opening body and the closing body are. Highlight everything and press paste. I love how coding is based entirely on languages no one fully understands. It's true because, like, two or three people define what the code means and then tries to teach others what it does. Alright. So, unfortunately, I'm going to be flying just as blind as y'all are because I have not used this code yet. We are learning together. I hate that I have to say that. Where are my notes? My one thing that I do not like about this layout builder is as you look at the information in here, it has the same information as on the layout builder, and that does not help you find things. I wish it said, this is your centerpiece, this is your right toolbar, but this is where I'm going to teach you how to read a code you're not familiar with. Div ID header. Div means divider. Dividers are what define what part of the code you are looking at. So we are looking at the header. That is the top of the page. Nav ID navbar. This is where those links are. Let me open up this page so that we can see and I can reference. It is this part right here. These can be changed and I will show you how to change them later. Because this is a very useful tool for navigating around your website. If you do not have this, you do not need this. But you can have this, and I think it is a very good idea. Div ID flex. Flex means this allows the box to change its size based on how large your window is. This is a very good thing to have in your code. Left sidebar. So we are now looking at the left sidebar, which is this part right here. This area. We do not need any of this. I'm not going to actually delete anything because I'm going to let you see before I start destroying this thing. Headers, more lists. Main. This is going to be your center box right here. This is probably where you're going to have the majority of your information. This is also going to be where you're going to probably post your images and the main context of your website. To give you an example of our website, this is the main box. This is where we put the main information of our site. If you go to any of our pages, you will see the main information in this box, which is hopefully titled main. You can put anything in here. These guys right here just define where you are putting it. And dividers let you put things inside of other things. They can be a bit obtuse, and you can always be able to follow where the divider ends with these lines in between the information. Sometimes it can be very difficult to track down how long those lines are. Just keep at it. It'll get easier the more you practice. Going past the main, we have a right sidebar. This is going to be this part of the website here. If you chose to have either a left or a right and not both, you will only have one of these. It is up to you. Now, see here again, we say this. Why did he put did they put this extra exclamation point? Okay, you do not need this extra exclamation point. It is not necessary. This is also similar to the caret exclamation point dash dash. It is another do not read this code so that you can comment within your code. How end tags stack. All right. I also have a little outline that I'm trying to make sure that I follow based on items. So how end tags stack is, let me see if I can find a stack of end tags. Because stacking of end tags is fun. Here we are. So this section of our website is dictated by an article and ends with an article, but is also within an article itself, which is also within an article itself. And if we go back all the way to the top, you can see, or perhaps not. Where is it? Article is where we begin, article, and ends by article. This is a little obtuse. You may have to do some searching or yelling at a rubber ducky to make sure that you figure it out. But there is a... Does this one have any of them? No, it does not. All right, let me see if I can find one. I know which of our pages has this error because it drives me insane. Earth and Myth, there you are. There it is. So you may see, when you are coding, you may see this or a little yellow triangle with an exclamation point in it. This is the code dashboard trying to tell you have an error. Now, to my understanding, you can get away with certain parts of code that shouldn't work, and yet they do. There are proper ways to do things, but if it does it anyway, go with it. Why fuck around with it, as I say. As you can see in this example, it's telling me that it is expecting a named entity, but it's not getting one. I cannot figure out why it is yelling at me for this. I don't care, because whatever this link is working. That is if you see one of these. As long as the code is working on your website, feel free to ignore it. You have my permission to ignore it. Do I have any other? Awesome. Oh wait, that's in the CSS. Now, there is also, let me see, is it in here? Yes, okay, there's the footer. So I told you about the header. There is also the footer. Let me give you an example on our website. So this is the header. This has our website name, it also has our navigator, and it also has our theme selector. I will go more into depth in our theme selector later, as it is an advanced code that we took almost a year to find, let alone begin to use. I wish it was more accessible, but I have a link for those who would like to do it. As we were talking about accessibility. And we like to be more accessible than we really should be. So we have chosen different themes to make it easier for individuals to look at. At the bottom, you can see this is more miscellaneous information. See, as you can see, our Creative Commons attribution. We have a copyright date and when the website has been live, when it's been created, last updated. You can put anything that you want down here. We also have buttons to where you can find us, or if you hover over this, you can see our Discord handle. Again, you could put anything here. So, moving on. If y'all would scroll down to where you can find this dictation code that says this is the CSS. If you could select all the way down to the end body and cut it, Control X. We are not going to use that in this document. You can use CSS on a web page, but as you are building a website, I would be loath to not show you how to do it nicely. So we are going to save this page. And I would like you to open up this dashboard link in a new tab. So let's go back to here. Let's go to the style.css and go to edit. This is going to be very blank. And as you can see in the notation, it says CSS is how you add style to your website, such as colors, fonts, and other positioning of your content. To learn how to do something, you can Google it. But at the end of the panel, I will have links for how to learn to do these for yourself. But what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to select everything and paste in your new CSS. This we want to delete because it's going to yell. This we do not want because it's going to yell. And also that is for if you were defining a style on a not CSS page. Whenever you see this documentation by the coder, it is good to get an idea of what they are trying to describe to you in this code. They will usually give you hints at what the code is trying to do. For now, I am going to simply show you. And if you have any questions after the panel, you are welcome to ask. So this root. And what is this little dash thing here? This was actively hilarious when I was going over my notes to make sure that I had everything. I wrote, what is dash content? And I confused myself at what is dash content? And then I remembered. This allows you to define a property that then you can use in place of another property elsewhere. So in this example, we are going to be defining the header image, which we can leave at this time. Body background image, the BG is background. You can leave this as it is too, and you can find some image later. I highly suggest either something muted or not this. Don't do this, please. Colors. Dash content. This is where I'm going to direct you to HTML color codes. I'm going to paste this into panel stage for you. This is a wonderful website that allows you to do exactly what it looks like. Pick a color, and then in this hashtag box, copy the color. And you can come over here. Oh, that's the wrong one. And you can put it into this box. I probably shouldn't. Oh, it's a nice green. We can live with that. Anytime that you will define something with this dash content, it will refer back to here and use this data that you input. Font face. These you can pretty much leave unless you want to be more accessible and change the font family to one that is more dyslexic friendly. How you do that is, let me go to the top of this page. Where is it? Here it is. Fonts, Google APIs.com, CSS family, and then you will be able to find all sorts of fonts for your website. I have to hazard. There are a lot that are not very easy to read. As you can see, this one is this text right here. We have used it in two places. This title and these labels. Never use this on the center. Never use this as a main way that people are going to be reading your text. But you can probably find an open dyslexic friendly font from Google. Or if I've only found the Google ones myself, but if there are other ones that allow you to do this, then you can. The rel is to reference a style sheet. This means that what this link is doing is going over to Google's website and pick up this link to use on this page. That is what this link href is using. That is what it is defining. Where was I? Here. So that is how you can change your fonts. Body. See how this isn't surrounded by carets? That is because it is now defining how the body is going to look. Unless you really want it to look different, I would suggest just leaving it the way that it is. Except a couple of things that you can change are going to be the background color, and this color here that doesn't have another definer is the text color. Going back to the accessibility panel, please don't put white text on a gray background or something of that effect. Background image. See this variable here, and this is where we put this dash dash. This is where this sort of code goes. So if you see this, now you know what it is for. So let's scroll down. So we can see the container. Any container is going to be this sort of box right here. This is a container. This is a container. This here is a container. That's what container means. I believe hides all my secrets by putting white text on white background. I suggest to those who know code to go to my profile on our website to try and see what my redacted text says. But, so how these hashtags work is when somebody is defining how the code works, it tells the web browser what container means. In this case, because it says max width 900, I am assuming that it is going to be referring to the center box. Oh, that is not what I meant to do. So this right here, this center box. The 900px means pixels. The way I assume that this is the center box is because of how large it is. 900 pixels is rather wide. Margin 0, this is how much width is in between the center, the centering parts of this container. You do not have to mess with this. This is for when I do stupid shit like trying to push these over to the right. Don't ask me how I do it. I'm still not sure how I managed to do it. Area below is for all links on your page except for the navigator. So this is going to define any A links. So if I showed you the A ref, that is an A link. All of those are going to turn into this defined color. They are also going to turn bold. If you want to remove it, you can add a... Does that say A? Yes, it does. Line below here that says text decoration none. Font weight, bold. You can get rid of this if you do not want it bold. You can basically do all sorts of things, and the cheat sheets I show you later on will give you a better idea of what you can do. For now, these are the type of things that I am trying to point out so that you have a better idea of what things mean. So let's scroll down. Try not to delete anything with a hashtag or you might break your code. This colors both sidebars. If you want them styled separately, create styles for hashtag left and hashtag right. This is what I mean by you get to define what you are doing with them. This is the colors of the main content area. Background color, and then you do not have to mess with this. This right here is, let me see if it works on here. Yes, it does. So if I minimize my page here, it is going to squish all of my stuff into one big row. And you see how my sidebars are now underneath everything else. This is not well coded. Please don't at me for this. I fought so hard with this website. So this is what the order means. As you can see, left sidebar will show first. The main bar will show second, and the right sidebar will show third in that line. That is for when people try to look at it on a squished web browser or on your mobile browser. Unexpected brace. So yeah, I don't understand why this is here. That can get deleted. Remember how I mentioned that this was a commentary? I don't know, that must have been left in there on accident. So coders aren't perfect. Define colors for your footer. So you can double click in here, it will highlight all of this, and then you can input whatever color you get out of color codes. H1, 2, and 3, this is for your header text. It will define the color. Strong, this will define when something is strong, it'll define that color. This point is for media query. So this is if somebody is looking at your website on a phone or a tablet that is not as large as normal that the website would show. This is more advanced. I am not going to go into this for you. If you would like more information about how this works, I have a link that I have in my notes that I'm going to post later. So, with that being said, and hopefully I didn't go too quickly for you to be able to figure out in what parts dictate what, we are going to save this, and we're going to come back over to our index HTML. As you can see, we left the header intact. So it's got the link href/style.css. This is going to be referring back to here to then turn this web page into the appearance of what we defined on the CSS. So let's go over to here. I'm going to Control F5 and look at that. My website looks just like this one. That is how you do an HTML and a CSS. Let me look at my notes. For some things, you may want to put a style that you don't want for every single one of your web pages. That is where you put this. Up in your header, on the page you want it to show up on, you will put a style, whatever the coding that you want is, end style, in your header. What else do I have? Triangle. Sometimes they lie. Using hex codes. What if you want a background image? Body BG image. There we are. So yeah, this one already was built in. That's wonderful. So if you want to change this image, you just change it to whatever you would like. Again, be kind. So now that we have those two set up, and you can color these later. Wait a minute. how to actually make it apply to the web page. So how you apply it to the web page, it's already linked when you make a new index page on Neocities. It is in this header. I have not touched this header at all. It is right here. This style CSS will refer back to this page and anything in it here. And then you just press save. Once you've pressed saved, if it doesn't show up on when you hit view on the top bar there, if you push this and this doesn't oops, that's the wrong one. If you press view and it doesn't change, Control F5 and it should present your new changes. Yep, so if I'm going to go over to my index, see this view button, if I just middle mouse button it so it opens in a new tab. If it does not show this, Control F5. And then when I am done showing you the basics, you can go back, find the colors that you would like to change all of the colors in here. This is very well notated, so the navigation link, when a link is hovered over, it'll help you find what part of the code you are trying to change. All right. Now, let's go back to the dashboard. You don't really need these two open, but I am going to leave them open so I can refer to them if I need to. So let's come back here. Let's make a new directory. So what we're going to do is we are going to hit New Folder. I'm going to name it References. And click Create. What this folder does is it creates a new step in the website's file path. So let me give you an example. See up here in my URL bar here, it says neocities.org/resources. That is a new file extension on your website. This allows you to then go to, yes. So say we want to go to our dictionary. Now it has our dictionary as the end. It allows you to organize things a little better or allow them to be easily referenced. If I remembered what this was called, I could just type it into the URL and it would pop up. You could put it all in the base directory here, but that's a little chaos. I very much do not suggest it. But what we are going to do is we are going to go into reference. If you have not made this folder, please make this folder. You don't have to name it References, but if you wanted to name it Cool Stuff or something similar, make that, if you could make that now. And then what we are going to do is we are going to come over to Manage, and it is going to bring us to this empty page that looks like it would before, but without any pages in it. So what we're going to do is we are going to New File. Every new directory needs an index. This is where, oh, I closed it, didn't I? I did. So this is if somebody goes to a new directory, it has nothing at the end of it. This is the index page. It is not going to be called an index, but that is the internal title that it is titled. So we are going to call it index.html. And now we have a new index. Now, what you're going to want to do is come back over to your original index, copy everything that is in it, not that go away. I don't want to accidentally overwrite that. That would be bad. And then we are going to paste it in here. And now you have an exact copy of the previous page. All of the coding that was on that page, all of the colors that have been defined, are all going to be the same on this new page. which means that you're also going to have a exact copy of said page. So now you get to change it up a little bit. So let's delete everything in main. I'm going to put that big ass picture right there in the smack middle of this page. So image src. You do not have to do this. I am just demonstrating it for you. Image. Am I doing this correctly? No, I am not. I'm being an idiot. This is also where, if you were present for the accessibility panel, you would put Alt equals quotation marks the image of a silly dinosaur, and then save. So let's view it. Oh wow, that was way too big. We should fix that. Let me show you how. So let's go back inside that caret. Let's do width equals 900 px. Because we know that our main box is 900 pixels. So let's save. Control F5. Oh, well, 900 pixels is not small enough. And here you can see that sometimes you might have to mess around with your code a little bit to make things look the way you want it to. But this width property forces the image to be a specific size. This does not resize the image itself, just how it's being displayed. So if you are wanting to set up a image gallery, you should probably do thumbnails, and I will show you how to do thumbnails. Don't just do this, or else it is going to bog down whoever's viewing your website. It is very awful. So, let me show you how to do a thumbnail, because I think they're interesting. I need this link, copy. So what we're going to do is I'm actually going to do the commentary. I like to do the commentary if I have a code that I don't want to get rid of completely, but I don't need it at the moment because, again, this code means that it's going to ignore whatever's inside of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to image src equals end. But this isn't a link yet. So what I'm going to do is href equals, take that quotation mark. Let's grab the image link of this image. Paste it in here so like we're making a text link. And now we have made a link out of an image. So let's take a look at what it looks like. Oh, look, the gay soup is still too big. Are you gonna load? Okay, there it goes. So see how when I scroll over the image, it becomes the hand? If you click on it, my internet is being very slow all of a sudden. It takes you to the big image. That is how you make a thumbnail and how you link images. All right, what is next on my docket? How to link your new page to your old page. So, let us... So here we have my blog, Neocities /references. We are going to select all of that. And we are going to come back, see how this has the directory references and then index. We're going to come over to the one that is your base index. And we are going to go into this main. I'm going to delete everything because it's a mess. And then I am going to put href equals cool web. What did I miss? Oh, that's not a quotation mark. Haha. It has to be a quotation mark. Did you see when it was a apostrophe? that over here, this was still brown. This is why I hazarded you to have one that makes these nice differentiated colors so you can see when you have an error. So we're going to make that a quotation mark. And then we're going to close up our link. But I'm also going to show you another way to do this. That's all you need. So remember up here how I had, it actually might want you to make this .html, but I'm going to leave it as it was to see if it actually does it. Let's try. So we're going to save. We can go to view. So, cool. Whoop. I didn't finish typing what I was going to type. That's funny. So let's go to, this is the first link. So this is this one right here. So when I clicked on it, it brought us to this page. Now we're going to click on this one here, and it sends me to the exact same page. All right, so I didn't need the HTML. So what this is referring to, whenever you are referring to a web page within the same domain, which your website is all under the same domain, it is going to try and find that web, what is the word I'm looking for? It's going to look for that fragment of a web address on this web page, on this domain. So you do not have to do all of this to keep your code looking nice and clean, or you can do this so if you go back and you're not sure what something is referring to, you will have visual reference. It is personal choice. Either one works, but I am showing you that both of them work. All right, going back to my new folder, index makes a base code. All right. So the other thing that I wanted to do with you today is we are going to come back to this original index where everything has been made to your liking. We're going to copy everything. Let's go back to the main directory where you have your normal index and you will see the other folders in here. We are going to make a new file. We are going to name this base code.html. Create. You will always want a backup of your code in case a page blows itself up somehow. But also when you make a new page, then you have clean code. Instead of having to go through and delete everything you've written on a previous page. So let's save this base code. And then, oh, it's going to have this on here. But let's do a bunch of lorem ipsum kind of. I'm just going to key smash a whole bunch. So let's say this is a page, but you are making a new page and you do not have a base code. You're going to have to come through and delete all of this. Now, say that you had changed this updates on the sidebar. You had changed this other updates on the other sidebar, and none of this is appropriate to what you are doing. Now you have to go back and change everything. That is why I highly suggest having a base code. Where's my page for it? Did I close it? I guess I did. This is why I suggest having a base code file. You do not link this anywhere, but it is there for you to reference when you make a new page. So, I have shown you everything that I have to offer to you today. I have showed you, I have described what some of the code does and how to parse it. I have showed you how to link new pages 2 old pages. I have described what the different parts of the web page do, how to create new pages and new directories. Is there any questions that just the bare bones basics that you have for me about how to build the bare bone basics on the website? Because I am quite aware that I covered quite a lot of stuff, and I could probably do an 8-hour sermon on how to do this. Have I lost all of you? Are you off in the weeds? Beginners are working eagerly on the website, and us veterans do not have questions. That is incredibly fair. Eating the weeds, even. We are literally in the coding weeds. Again, you are always welcome to come and ask us questions about how to code. We are not the best at it, mostly because I have not had the chance to do a lot of looking into it, and this is not a code language that I am familiar with, but I do understand the basics because of how Dosky understands it. I got a ping. My apologies. Let me give you my resources and links. This is just a large list of links that I have gathered for you to learn. There are some advanced and decorative codes. The very last link at the very bottom is a link to Nova's panel notes and references and links from their panel so that you can, from the ground up, build your website to be accessible, which we do not. So going back to retrofit it has been a daunting idea. Do I have any other information for you? Oh, I do have I have heard that if you are on Tumblr and you follow theme coders for Tumblr, that the codes that Tumblr uses for their blogs can be used for personal websites. I have not tried this. But in theory, it holds up, just based on my limited knowledge and not having tried it myself. Shiloh does say they have to be modified. They aren't plug and play, but you can use them if you find one that you like and want to use it. It might be better than building from the ground up, but in my opinion, building a website from the ground up with every code that you look at, you understand, it's your baby. You understand it better than anybody else, so that you're the one who is able to make it look the way that you want. One of the websites that I linked, which one is it? Yes, it is the Webmaker app /create. This is a tool that I have been using for our website once I had learned about it, that allows you to input your code and screw around with it to your heart's content and watch it go live in an instant. That way you don't have to go put in a code, open it in a new tab, and Control F5 to make the update stick, the new changes stick. This does it for you, and then you can copy and paste everything that was in it to your page later, once it is back to where you would like. Does anybody want me to give a quick rundown of how I got the theme switcher to work? It is an advanced method of coding. I do see a yes. We have another yes. Okay. Going into this, I want to make this extremely clear that what I am going to go on forward is way more advanced than what I was getting into earlier. But we can do that. Let me open up our website. Nope, that's Modern Neo. That is the wrong tab, or that is the wrong link. Oops. Alright, so let's go into... I'm trying to find... Oh, that's Dosky. Dosky has been playing it like crazy. Has been wanting to go back to retail, but is like, no, don't do that. We don't have time. We don't have the energy for that. Retail is a nightmare. I have to remember how I did it, because I found it. Do I have a link to it in our about? I do. Let me get you this link. My internet apparently just decided to die. Oh, wow, and Neopets players apparently. Oh, it's a HTTPS. Okay. Oh, no, my internet has just died. Alright, but bear with me while this website loads. It's not. Oh, it's not working for others. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, come on. Alright, well, no, it wasn't my internet this time, I guess. I will... What do I want to do here? Home. So I have a... So here's an example of how to do... directories. That is probably good for the brain to parse them. So let's go into my building blocks. This is where I have all of my weird CSSs, where I have my JSONs, which is this JS. Let me find... It's not the table. It is these styles, but that's not... I need the JSS for it. Is this it? No. Though, I do want to, if you want to dabble into making the JS is not JSON. Oh, it's JavaScript. What am I thinking of? Oh, I got them mixed up. Okay. Shiloh corrected me. JS is not JSON. It's short for JavaScript. JSON uses Java. JS is JavaScript. This is one of those things that I have learned the bare bones. I know just enough to make shit work on my website. Oh, let's see. So, if you want to do something like my header and my footer, where the header and footer are the exact same, and you do not have to define them on every web page, what you can do is you can make a JS that looks like this. I will send it to you. I will send y'all this link so you can copy my code. And then in the index, let's just do the index. Where is it? Where is it? Here it is. So in your header, you will want to put this line of code. script src, a link to the, do not put this exact one, put a copy of the text. I will show you how to do it. Let me open back on my website, this one. So let me show you how to do this. So I'll put in references. I will, new file, this is going to be a load.js. The file extension is very important. Create. We are going to edit. We are going to take, you can literally copy this information and paste it in here. Save. This, you want this on your own website. Do not copy ours because it will not get you the results you want. Because what this is doing is now you have to go, and this is where my building blocks directory is is good for. So see, I have a footer and I have a, where is my header? This is in, oh, navigation is my header. So what we'll do is, I don't want to open it like that. I want to open it and edit. This defines what my header is going to look like. Instead of having this giant chunk of code on every single one of my web pages, the JS is going to reference this and then apply it to wherever it is told to. So this is my normal index. See this script, building block / load script. That tells it to run my header and my footer. So it's going to run this code and this code at the same time. That's not what I wanted. This one. It is going to run both of these simultaneously to get the display. Which is so nice. It is so nice. Also, don't look at this code. It's messy. And I'm ashamed of it. So that is how you can do a very nice header and footer that doesn't bulk up your web pages. Sad Girl used to have a page, which is where we found how to do this, and I have been unable to find it in preparation for this panel. She changed her website in between the original coding of our website and this panel. And I am very angry at her for getting rid of those links because they were very helpful. And if it is me being an idiot for not being able to find them, then so be it. But I was unable to find them, which is unhelpful because I would like to share those with you. But you have to make do with me then. Now, for my trying to find style switch, here it is. So let me grab this link. Again, do not. You want your own copy of this code. Just like I showed you on how to do the header and footer, you want your own copy of this code on your website. So as you can see, I have named this styleswitch.js. This is a different page. It is a different code. So let me put this in here for you so you can copy the code itself that is in there. Now it looks like the website is down where I got it from. Apparently I am doing code preservation now. So you want one of these. And then if you can see right here, I have multiple style CSSs. See, this is the one that my normal blue looks like. Now, this is my one that is based on one of our system mates, 14. As you can see, with the push of a button, I was able to change all of the colors. Because what this mess of code does is tells the website to reference a different style sheet. So what you're going to do is you're going to copy everything in your style CSS and just change the colors. And then name it something new. So, like, style 14, style dark mode, style for Giorano's, style green, because we didn't have anybody for green. But that is how I finally found to do a theme switcher. And I am very happy with it. I am so glad I eventually found this. Oh, that's the eye strain one. Oops. I apologize for going to the eye strain one. But yes, that is what I have for you. Let me double check. So let's pull this open. Ah, yes. This looks familiar. I don't know if this had what I am looking for, though. Color contrast? No, that's not it. Archival, domains, flare. No, this is... wait. Is it down here? Is this it? No, that is not what I'm thinking of. Yeah, unfortunately, she had like this black, it was an all black page that had like her own guides on it. And she took them down when she rebuilt her site. Because she had her own coding guides, which taught me how to make the header and footer reference. And I have not been able to find them since. But this is a very good. Do I have this? Yes, this website is on the post that I linked with all of my references. That is all I had for you today. Also, one of the things that you can do is if you ever want to find where somebody got a code from, someone like me is going to put a layout credits, like where I got my codes from. So as you can see, this divider was made by Baby Dog. Base layout was by Sad Girl. The theme switcher is now a dead link, sadly. The data table I can show you is this. It's very nice. I love this. But, and the bubbles. Dosky's bubbles. The bubble cursor. But this is another nice one. These are little bits of code that you don't need, but it makes your website personal. Does anybody have any questions? I know I have said a lot. Of course, Shiloh. I am not much of a overt talker, so my voice is actually quite dry at this point. So I will leave it there. Excuse me.